Namaskaram, Nyan Adira. Hi everyone, I'm Adira and I'm from the Singapore Malayalee Association Youth Wing, and welcome to the first episode of Onashamsagal 2020. 2020 has not been easy for many of us because of the COVID-19, but that should not stop us from celebrating our festival, Onam. And to start it off today, I'm going to teach all of you how to adorn the Kerala Sari for the ladies and the Mundu for the men. So now, as you can see, I have two types of sari in my hand. On this side, I have the traditional Neriyada and Mundu, which is also known as the Settu Sari. And on this hand, I have the normal Kerala Sari. We're first going to learn how to tie the Neriyada and Mundu. So let's go. Okay, so now in my hands, I have the Mundu Neriyada set. It comes in two pieces. One which is wider and shorter is the Mundu, which goes around our waist. And the other piece is the Neriyada, which is longer and thinner and goes over our shoulder. So before we start tying the sari, let's look at some of the other things that we need when we tie a sari. For those who are beginners, we obviously need a blouse. It can be of any color, any sleeve length, any design, anything up to your preference. I've chosen a red one because the sari has a red border. And you also need an inskirt, or the underskirt as we call it, so that we can tuck in our sari and put in our pleats as well. And don't forget the most important thing that helps all of us secure our sari, the pins. Okay, so now let's start. Okay, so in my hands now I have the Mundu, the wider one. Now we open it up and now you can see this border here, right? That's the part that should come right under your belly button, right in the middle. So now we're going to tie this around the waist. So this is supposed to come in the middle of your body, just under your belly button. And the length, for the length, you decide how long you want it, and then tuck in the amount that you want to have the length for. So in this case, okay, so we have the kasabul here, or the border. The border is supposed to be right under the belly button, or near the center, and you're supposed to pleat it as such. Just one or two pleats would do, so that it's tight and comfy. And you decide how long you want the sari to be, and you tuck it in the respective amount. Okay, now that we've all tucked it in, now let's do the Neriyada. Neriyada is the longer one, and it has the border on both sides. You can decide which side goes where. It's completely fine because it's all just one cloth. And you hold it this way and you take the pleats. So to take the pleats, you have to first, of course, fold it. And of course, different people use different methods. It's completely fine as long as you get similar pleats. I usually use my 2 fingers and you hold it as such. And you just do in a likewise manner. And you can decide the length you want the pleats to fall. That's completely up to you as well. Some people prefer thicker pleats, some people prefer thinner pleats, all up to you. Okay, and another thing you need to note is the pleats, it has to start and end at different ends, not at the same one. If not, it will fall apart. So you see this one ends here and this one ends here. And you have to, of course, adjust your pleats. Okay, after you've gotten your pleats, one trick you can use is to pin it together so that it doesn't fall apart and it makes your tying easier. So I'm just going to grab a pin. I'm going to pin it all together. Okay, now we have the pleats, so let's put it over the shoulder. Remember, the border has to come on the end of the sari. And as for the length of the pallu, you can decide how long you want it to be according to your height as well. For shorter people like me, you can obviously have a shorter length one. And for taller people, you can have a longer pallu. Okay, so now we're gonna bring this to the back. Another thing, you can also pro tip, you can pin it to your blouse first so that it doesn't move out of place. Now we're gonna bring this to the back. Bring it down here as well. And now we're going to bring this to the front, right? And one thing you might want to take note is to have a nice triangle shape here. Okay, so when we come here, you got to either tuck it in, or some people prefer to pin it here. That's up to you. I'm going to tuck it in, and if it's too long, you can even do a simple pleat of sorts and tuck it in. Okay, you can just adjust the pleats to your liking, and then we're done with Situ Mundu or Mundu area Sari. Yes, so your pleat comes nicely here, pleats come nicely here, yeah, then have it. Okay, now let's move on to the traditional Kerala Sari as well. Kerala Kasava Sari is just like any other ordinary sari. So the way we tie it is also very similar to that. So let's get started. So as you can see, this design part of it would actually be the pallu, or it's the part that comes over your shoulder. So we have to actually start from the other side of the sari. So let me open the sari up to show you. This is the pallu. We have opened up the sari. So we need to start from the other end of the sari, which is here, and then you have to tuck it in from your right side. So you tuck it in. Like how much you tuck in really depends on your height. Some people are taller, so they don't need to tuck in as much. If not, if you're short and you don't tuck in enough, you might end up tripping over your own sari. So yeah, let's go around the weave. Okay, so now we have reached back here. Now what we have to do is we have to see how long we want our pallu to be. So for that we need to go back to the other side of the sari. So you see this? We are going to pleat it roughly so that we know how long we want it to be. So you start from this end and you start pleating. The length, as in the width of the pleats and how many pleats you want to take is completely up to you. It's to each person's preference. Usually about 4 to 5 pleats should be sufficient. We have the pleats, so what you should do is to pin it together so that it doesn't go out of place. So you just put it in and you put it in. So now that you've pinned it, what you need to do next is to see how long you want the pallu to be. So for that you need to go around yourself and then you have to see the length. So we're going to go around. So that you can see roughly how long you want the pallu to be. Some people like it long. So just roughly see how long you want it to be. Yeah. Now once you've put the pleats and you've decided on the length that you want, you would want to now put the pleats over your chest and you bring this part to the back. And you might want to pin it here as well. And you now bring this part here, and you would need to pin it here so that you get a slimmer figure. Okay, so now I've pinned here and here as well. So now what we're going to do next is to pleat this part and put it in the underskirt right near our belly button. So for that you need to leave a bit of a gap here and then start pleating from there. So the reason why we need to do that is because when we put it back in, if we take it too near the pin, it's not possible. And these folds won't come in, so you got to leave a bit of the gap and you have to pleat. Like what I said before, the size of the pleats or the number of pleats do not matter. There's no specific number per se. It's really up to your preference. Okay, so now after we've gotten all our pleats, we have to stuff it in to our skirt near our belly button. This friend of mine doesn't have a belly button, so I'm gauging at the center. Okay, so now I've tucked it in. Now you will notice you'll have some excess here, so all you have to do is tuck it in to the side, and there you have it. So now it's just finishing touches. Make sure your pleats are all nicely together. Also for your bottom pleats, take it together, make sure your sari is in place, and there you have it. This is how you tie a Kerala Kasava sari, just like how you tie any other ordinary sari. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Next we have Shafiq coming up to teach the guys how to tie a mundu. So stay tuned.
Everyone, so this is your KK Kunyali Kuti back again, but not for a Zumba or an exercise, but this time is to show you how to tie a mundu for men. Okay, so you just saw that Adira taught all of you how to actually tie the Settu mundu, which is the two-piece, and also the Kasava sari. So what I'm going to teach you guys now is this. Okay, so there are different styles of tying a mundu for men. I think some calls this Veshti in Tamil, but then for Malayalam we call this mundu. So how we're going to do is usually for men, this border, usually people will either tie it on the right or they can tie it on the left depending on your own preference. But for me, I love to have it on the left. So a mundu for men is usually quite short. You can see this is the length. It only comes out as one side border, and you can see also the bottom here has some border as well. So how we're going to do this is, first I would like to stretch my leg because this will give me the chance to at least know or to measure how tight am I supposed to tie so that I can walk with the mundu. Then what I'm going to do is this way, hold the mundu both sides here. Now the border has to be outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, stretch my leg, so this is my walking gap, put it here, and then use my right hand, hold this here and pull this here. So as you can see at the back, I have two knots like this. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some adjustment. My right hand pull, left hand to adjust, so that I can adjust this border here to be nice and straight. Now some people would tie these two knots together, but if you think that you can afford to not tie it, you can actually just fold it. So using these two, I will fold it, fold it, fold it. For safety purpose, if you are afraid that your mundu will fall off and cause a scene, you might end up wanting to actually wear a belt. So I'll just tie it and just fold it, and then bring my shirt down. You can either wear a kurta or you can wear a t-shirt, or usually anything that's for that brings the festivity out, and just adjust it. There we go. Left to the right, back. Onashamsagal. So mundu is not only just worn for Onam, you can also wear it for weddings. You can wear it for Christmas, you can wear it for Eid, depending on whatever festivity this can be worn. So easy peasy. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you again. Thank you.